Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be drafting a bodice pattern using the Natalie Bray pattern drafting method. So to start with, I want you to understand that this pattern drafting method works with the centimeter side of the meter rule, so it worked with cm calibration. So I'm going to mark out my top line or my margins. So I'm coming down by 5 cm at the top, from the top of my pattern paper, and I will square this measurement across. Now on the left side of my pattern paper, I'm going to also go in by 5 cm. This is also a margin. Then I'll square the measurement across also. So I'm going to label this line as my margin. Now I'm working with a bust of 92 cm. So I'm going to take 92 cm across my pattern paper. I'm going to take half of 92 cm plus 5 cm. This 5 cm is for ease allowance. So I'm going to mark this across my pattern paper. So half of 92 cm is 41 cm. Sorry, half of 92 cm is 46 cm. 46 plus 5 is 51 cm. So I'm going to mark 61 cm from my top line down across my pattern paper. Also note that I am making a half scale bodice. Therefore I'm using the widest part of my body measurement, which is the bust. If I was making a full scale bodice, then my hip is most likely going to be the widest part of my measurement, so I would have to use that, but this is a half scale bodice, so we use the bust measurement. Now that being done, I'm going to divide this line, this measurement I've taken, the 51 cm, into two equal parts, one for the front and one for the back. If I was using my hip measurement, I would have added just extra 3 cm to the half of my hip, and then while dividing, I would not have divided them equally. I would add the 3 cm on to the front only. I would add the 3 cm to the front only and not equally with the front and the back. Alright, that being said, I'm going to come down. We're going to start drafting the back first. The back is always on the left side of your pattern paper. So I'm going to come down from the margin by 3 cm. This line is going to be called point O, the origin of my measurement for the back. Now from point O, I come down by another 3 cm. This line is our shoulder line. So I'm going to mark 3 cm down from point O. I'm going to rule it just about halfway across my back measurements, just a little bit after the half of my back measurement. Now from point O, I am now going to take the length of my bodice measurement. So the length I'm working with here is a length of 42 cm. 42 cm. So I'm going to take that back length. This length is called back length. I'm going to take it from the point O. So to get your back length, all you need to do is measure from the center of your nape, from your nape down to your waistline at the back. This measurement is taken at the back. So you measure from your waist down, from your nape of your neck down to your waistline at the back. Now the measurement you got from point O down to your waist, that's your back length, which here is our waistline, you're going to mark it out also on the front. Now at the front, remember that the front is longer than the back by 3 cm. So you're going to add that 3 cm to the front, and then you will square it out. Now from point O, I'm going to take my bust line measurement. The bust line measurement is also going to run across to the front. So you do the same thing you did to get your waistline. The bust line measurement I used here is 22 cm. This bust line also serves as your armhole line. So this is where your armhole is going to start. Yes, always remember to label your lines so you don't get confused. Now, these are the only two lines that are going to run across from the back to the front. Alright, now I'm going to divide from my point O to my bust line at the back. I'm going to divide this measurement into 2 equal parts. So remember that bust line from point O is 22 cm. Now I'm going to divide this measurement into 2. That will give me 11 cm. Okay, I would like you to know that all your measurements from the back for the back is going to start from this point O. That's why it's called the point of origin. Now this line I just marked out now is my back line. So on this back line, I'm going to take half of my across back measurement. So I will take this measurement on the bust line, on the back line, and on the shoulder line and square it across. Now my across back measurement is 36 cm. Divided by 2 will give me 18 cm. So I'll take 18 cm on the bust line, on the back line, and on the shoulder line and square it down. Now on the bust line, from that 18 cm mark, go out by 5.5 cm. Now what I'm trying to achieve with this is the armhole curve for the back. So I go out by 5.5 cm. This measurement is graded according to different sizes. So for a size 10 that we are working for, or that we are working with, you go out by 5.5 cm. I'll try to leave the graded how will I put it, the graded scale, or I'll just try to explain how to grade this on the description box. So you can go to the description box to see how you go out on the bust line for the different sizes. So for this size 10 that we're working with, you go out by 5.5 cm. Now on the shoulder line, you go out by 2 cm. Now from the back line, you come down by 3 cm. And then at the bust line, at the line intercepting the bust line and this 5.5 cm, you're going to go out at an angle 90 by 3 cm like I just did. So what is left to do to get your curve is that you're going to connect all these points starting from the shoulder. From that 2 cm you went out by at the shoulder. So you're going to make a curve touching all these points. So this curve is going to touch the shoulder, the bust, the back line, the 3 cm you came down by, and also the 5.5 cm at the bust line. So this is our armhole curve for the back. Now all that is left to do for the back is to, we've not gotten the neck width or the neck curve for the back. So to get the neck curve, from the origin point O, go in by 7 cm and you mark that point. Then you go up by 2 cm and mark that point. Connect these 2 points together and draw your curve. So I connect these 2 points together. The neck depth is also graded, so I'll leave all these graded measurements on the description box. So you connect your curve this way. Now what is left is to come to the bust, label the neck, that neck point. You can label it NP, that is neck point. Now after that, what is left? Connect your neck, that neck point, to the shoulder, to that 2 cm where your shoulder started. Now after you've drawn this your shoulder line, what is left is to measure the shoulder line, and it's going to be in excess when compared to your main shoulder line. When compared to your shoulder line, it's going to be in excess of about 1.5 cm to 2 cm. So we're going to take off this excess, and to do that, we'll come to the midpoint of the shoulder line and take our back dart. Now my shoulder line measures 12.5 cm, but what I have on my shoulder is 14 cm. So I'll divide it by 2, which gives 7 cm on each side of the shoulder. So 14 minus 12.5 cm leaves me with 1.5 cm excess. So I take out 0.75 cm on either side of my dart. Okay, now I'll mark out this dart on either side of my shoulder. As you can see, my shoulder dart did not go straight down. It curved towards the center line. So now what is left is to redraw my shoulder, and to do this I'm going to have to close the dart. So I fold it from inside out towards the armhole this way, and then I am going to redraw the shoulder. Then after redrawing your shoulder, always trace out your shoulder. After redrawing your dart, always trace out your dart head. Always trace out your dart head. Okay, I think I've written a good line. So now I'm going to get my tracing wheel and trace out my dart head. Okay, now I'm going to join this dart head to this shoulder seam that I've done, or to this shoulder line that I've redrawn, like so. Now all that is left to do is to take this bust measurement we have all the way down to the waistline. So I'm going to measure this line and take it down to the waistline. So what I have on the bust line is 23.5 cm. So I'll take it down to the waistline and square it down, or square it up to the bust line. Now, with this line that I just drew, the back bodice block is almost complete. What that is remaining is the waist reduction, and I'll do that after I've drafted the front bodice. Now, to draw the front, or to draft the front, sorry, you're going to come down from the margin line, which is our top line. We're going to come down by 4.5 cm and mark like so. This point is the shoulder line for the front. Now after you mark the shoulder line, you're going to go ahead and come down by 5.5 cm. This is the neck depth for the front. And then, sorry, I came down by 7.5 cm for the neck depth, and then went in by 7 cm for the neck width, the same with the back. So I connect it like so. So our point O for the front starts at the top line. So it's important to note that the point O for the back and the front does not start at the same place. For the back, we came down by 3 cm for our point O, but for the front, the point O starts at the top line. Now, the next thing I'm doing now is I want to take my nipple to nipple measurement, and you get this by dividing your chest across chest measurement for the front. You divide it by 4. So my cross chest measurement for the front is 38 cm. So when I divide it by 4, I got 9.5 cm. So you mark this 9.5 cm with a dotted line from the shoulder down to the bust line. I'm marking it with a dotted line because it's not part of the lines we're going to cut out. It's just going to serve as a guide to get our dart. Now, to get our shoulder dart, from that dotted line on the shoulder line, go out by 2 cm, and then from the bust line, come down by 2 cm and connect these 2 points together like so. Now, to get the second leg of the dart, on that same shoulder line, go out by 7 cm. Just rule your line to touch that 7 cm point. So go out by 7 cm and connect it down to that 2 cm point below the bust line. So this is our dart for the front. Okay, so now that we've gotten the dart, I'm going to try to redraw the armhole. So to redraw the shoulder seam. So to redraw the shoulder line, from the center front, go in on the shoulder line by about 16.5 cm. This is a standard measurement for all sizes. Now, on this line, go from the neck point, intercepting that 16.5 cm mark you've made, and measure a line from the neck point to about 20 to 22 cm and mark it like this. So this line must intercept that 16.5 cm mark. Now redraw your dart to touch the new shoulder line. So what we're now going to do is that I'm going to take my bust measurement for the front. So this is going to aid me in drawing the armhole curve for the front. So I measure what I have at the back. Remember that at the back, the bust measurement we have is 23.5 cm, yes? So we're going to subtract that from our total bust measurement, which is 51 cm. So when you subtract 23.5 cm from 51 cm, you're going to have 27.5 cm. I'm making sure my measurements are correct. So this is 23.5 cm. Now at the front, I'm going to measure out 27.5 cm. So this happens to be exactly what I have here. From the center front to the side seam is exactly 27.5 cm. Now that I've done that, I'm going to go up from the bust line to 4 cm to draw the half of my across chest measurement for the front. So this was me trying to draw the half of my across measurement on the bust line. Then I remembered that I have to go up by 4 cm to mark my chest line. Now it is on this chest line that we take half of across chest measurement. So I'm going to square out this point that I've marked like so. So it is on this chest line. Label it chest line. So it is on this chest line that I'm going to take half of my across chest measurement, which is 19 cm. Yes. So now remember that there is a dart running through this line, so you're going to also measure that dart and add it to the 19 cm. So now we have a total of 21 cm. This 21 cm, you're going to draw it down from that chest line to the bust line on a straight line. So this line is going to help us while drawing our armhole curve for the front. I'll show you why when I'm drawing the curve. Now the next thing I'm doing now is to redraw the shoulder dart, to redraw the shoulder line. So I'm going to close the shoulder dart, making sure that the two ends of the shoulder dart meet. So when you close your shoulder dart, that initial shoulder line you drew is no longer going to be straight. So now what I'll do, or what you'll do, is to go measure from the neck point down to that initial shoulder line. Measure your actual shoulder measurement. So mine is 12.5 cm. It's going to be the same with the back. So you measure it down on a slanted line like this, and you mark your shoulder point. So now I'm going to redraw this line with the same slanted line like this. Now always remember to trace out the dart head. So now I'm tracing out the dart head, and I'm going to connect the dart head to the shoulder line like this. So you connect that side there, and then this one to this first leg of this dart. Then you connect, make sure your dart meets the new shoulder line, and you draw the midpoint of your dart. Now that is it for our dart. Now we're going to move over to try to achieve our armhole curve for the front. So to do that, connect your new shoulder down to your chest line like so. Now when you've connected it like this, you're going to come and measure this line that you just drew, the line running from your shoulder to your chest line. When you measure it, you divide it into 2 equal parts and mark the point. Now at that midpoint you've marked, go in by 1 cm. And at the bust line, you are going to go out by 1.5 cm. That is at an angle 90. Go out by 1.5 cm. Remember we took 3 cm for the back, but here we're going out just by 1.5 cm. Now we're going to connect from the shoulder line through the 1 cm that you marked, and then touching the chest line, also touching this 1.5 cm you marked at the bust line, then back to the bust line at the side seam. This is going to give you your perfect armhole curve. Now when you're doing this, your armhole curve is going to dip a little bit below your bust line and then come back up at the bust line at the side seam. So this is your perfect armhole curve for the front. Now we're going to go over to the neck to draw our round neck. Now the trick to getting a perfect round neck is make sure that at the neck point, that when you're drawing your curve, it flattens out down to about 3 cm, as you can see how flat that one is. And then at the neck depth, also do it, flatten it out by about 3 cm before the midpoint, that's before your center front, like so. Now that being done, all that is left to do for this pattern right now is to do our waist reduction. So before you do your waist reduction, we are going to redraw the waistline. To redraw the waistline, from the center front, come down by 2 inches, and then at the side front and at the side back, come down by 1 inch, and you connect this point with a straight line. Now obviously the line is going to be slanted like so. Now to do your waist reduction, you're going to measure out your nipple to nipple measurement on the front and also on the back. So the nipple to nipple measurements, like I said earlier, is half of the across chest measurement for the front. So I take this measurement for my front and also for my back. At the back, this measurement is going to extend up to the bust line. So I square the measurement like so. Now for the front, I'm going to come down by 2 cm. Okay, first of all, I'm going to draw my true bust line. So the true bust line is always 4 cm below the bust line. This is the actual point where your nipple sits on your cloth. So now, from this true bust line, I'm going to come down by 2 cm. This is the point where my front dart is going to stop. And on that 2 cm, I took my nipple to nipple measurements once more, and I'm connecting from the waistline up to that point. Now, recall that I worked with a bust 92 cm, which when divided by 2 gave us 46 cm, and then I added 5 cm to it to give us 51 cm. Now I'm going to measure this waistline I have on the block already, which is 51 cm. I'm going to subtract my actual waistline, my actual waist measurement from 51 cm. So my actual waist measurement is 41 cm because I'm working with a waist measurement of 82 cm. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to subtract 41 cm from 51 cm. So it's going to give me 10 cm waist reduction. So for waist reduction, there is actually a standard. So the standard is that at the 2 side seams, you don't go in more than 1.5 cm. So that is what I just did here. So I went in by 1.5 cm for the back and then 1.5 cm for the front at the side seams, and I'm connecting this to the true bust line. Now, when I add the 1.5 cm I have at the 2 sides, it means 3 cm. That means we are left with 7 cm because 10 minus 3 is 7. Now, another standard is that at the front center seam or at the front center line, you go in by 1 cm and then you rule this line up to the neck. So when you rule this line, it's going to extend the neckline by about 3/4 of a cm to 1 cm. So this is perfectly normal. Now, at the back center line, you're going to go in. I'm taking another 1.5 cm. Now, at the back, you can take up to 2 cm. But I've already calculated the darts that I have, and if I take 2 cm, it's going to leave me with not much for the darts. So that's why I'm taking only 1.5 cm at the back. So I'm going to connect this line also up to the neckline. It's also going to extend the back neck a little bit, which is also perfectly normal. Now if I add all the reduction we've done, it's 3 cm for the side seams, 1.5 cm for the back, plus 1 cm, that's for the center back, plus 1 cm for the center front. So everything is 5.5 cm. So now we're left with 4.5 cm to reduce at the darts. Mind you that the front darts will always be bigger than the back darts. So therefore I am taking 2.5 cm for the front dart and then 2 cm for the back dart. So I will divide the 2.5 cm equally on both sides of the dart. And then to the back dart I am going to take 2 cm, that is 1 cm each on each side of the dart. If you've watched up to this point, then we've almost come to the end of this tutorial. And if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please, I beg you, subscribe to my channel, like the videos, share and comment on the videos. So now all that is left to do is for me to true the dart lines. Truing means equalizing the dart lines, because when you close the dart like this, you will see that they are not equal. So I'm just going to close it and make sure that I equalize the lines, and after that I'll mark out the dart head like so. So I'll connect this dart to the dart legs I've marked out, these lines like so. Then I'll also go over to the back and do the same thing, close the dart and through the lines. So once you're done with that, then your half scale bodice pattern is done. Okay, so on that note, we've come to the end of the tutorial. Thank you for watching up to this point. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.